Hey Libras, it's Zahara Stars with Illuma Astrology doing your July 2018 Astro Weather Forecast. I hope you guys are doing awesome. July is going to be a really big month. We're now in retrograde season, eclipse season, and there's just a lot of changes going on. Things slow down, things speed up. We're kind of going back in time to revisit a lot of stuff. But with Saturn retrograde, things definitely slow down a bit. So it's kind of like you feel like you're taking, 5 steps forward and then 6 steps backwards. But things are about to get really different, okay? Hey Libras, it's Zahara Stars with Illuma Astrology, bringing you your July 2018 Astro Weather Forecast. I hope you guys are doing awesome. July is going to be a crazy month, but it's going to be very positive. Transformation is always good. Change is always good. We don't like to be stuck in the same situation, especially if it happens to be one that we don't want to be in. But for those of you that are in good situations and everything's going great in your life, this is just going to bring you closer and closer and closer to your life path and your direction in life of where you are meant to be. Now, this year we have all the planets that are turning retrograde. I've been talking about this for some time now, including Venus and Mars, which don't do that but every 2 years. But this month we're going to have Mercury turn retrograde, but the big news is that Jupiter is finally turning direct on the 10th. Woo, yay. Jupiter retrograde is not my favorite. I love him direct. Direct, he's all about handing out gifts of joy and happiness and luck and fortune and abundance. And in retrograde, it's more like how can you create your own luck, researching metaphysical things on manifestation and all this stuff. Not to say he's not like that always, but when he's in direct motion, he's more of about giving you stuff without you having to do a whole lot. Now, can you capitalize on it? Absolutely. Should you? Absolutely. One of the things that astrology does is that it allows us to know when these opportune times are, so that way we can put our efforts and capitalize on it. But it's a little tricky because Jupiter can make us feel lucky and lazy to where we don't capitalize on it and we just take the crumbs that Jupiter's giving us. Well, not always crumbs. It gives us good stuff. But if we actually apply ourselves during it, we can triple or just maximize it to the potential. And that's what astrology does. It allows us to know when we should maximize our potential, maximize the good fortune coming our way, because some of these transits don't come again, such as with Jupiter, 12 years, okay? 12 years. And Venus transits, every year. So, and sometimes a little longer because it turns retrograde every 2 years. But once you have a Venus transit, you should definitely capitalize on the benefits that come from that. And the same goes for Jupiter. Saturn's all about restrictions, boundaries, and blockages. So, he's the naysayer. You're not good enough. You can't do it. What have you done for me lately? But he does rule the 10th house of fame, fortune, and reputation and legacy. So he didn't get that position for anything. Does tend towards convention and seriousness. Being more serious, being pragmatic, being conventional, all of that stuff. And for you guys, he's been in your 3rd house of communication. But not just your 4th house of home. I apologize. I was looking at it from my Placidus software program, which breaks the houses up in different sizes. I apologize. In your 4th house of home. So this is all about restructuring home, taking home seriously, wanting to create a family. Some of you might be moving. Some of you are thinking about moving. Some of you have moved away from family. Maybe it's the time if you're in college or school or anything like that. You're moving away from home with Saturn's transit there. If you haven't already started thinking about this, because ever since he entered Capricorn, he's entered your 4th house. And, he's going to be there for quite a while, another 2 years at least between retrograde motion and direct motion. So it may not happen immediately. It can happen over time, but some of you are definitely feeling it in terms of Saturn tests the strength of everything. He tests the strength and the weakness of everything. He shows you what's wrong. So sometimes we have on Saturn's vision this critical eye, and we start to go, oh, this isn't good enough. That's not good enough. I have higher standards, all these different types of things. But if something is weak in your home or in your family, he's going to test it. So something could break, in other words. You could have to remodel, redo a lot of things to make solid foundations. That's what Saturn is about. He wants you to create, refine, and make a very solid structure that will withhold the tests of time. He's the father of time as well. So wherever he transits, you can feel restricted, blocked, pressure, a serious, more perspective. And this is typically within the first quadrant, like when he's in your sign, then the second house, then the third house. But in the fourth house, it starts becoming all about what you want in the outer world, your home. Are you going to purchase a home? Are you going to want a family? Then it goes into your love life, and then your health and fitness, and then your marriage house. So he slowly starts refining all these areas. So I do suggest you listen to your ascendant sign as well. If your ascendant is at a later degree, meaning it's at the end of the sign, then listen to the sign that covers your first house instead, because that will align better with these general monthly transits, because they are general. Everybody has planets in different signs and houses. You need a personal reading to get specifically what's going to happen for you. But these are the general energies. So Saturn's been transiting or entered your fourth house now. So there's going to be a lot of transformation that's happening there. Mars is also going to be retrograding back there. Now it's in the sign of Aquarius, which is actually your fifth house of love, romance, self-expression, and creativity and fun and all that stuff. But he's retrograding back, and he will make it back to Capricorn, your fourth house. So there can be something that you're going to have to revisit within the home. Or something that you're going to have to redo or fix or something like that. Just something coming back to kind of touch up or finish off with Mars retrograde in the fourth house of home. Now, you guys have Neptune in your sixth house of health, wellness, and fitness, along with daily routine and chores and organization. And that's really about, some of you could come down with some mysterious illness temporarily. Neptune is all about vagueness and uncertainty surrounding it. And in your health and fitness, you could have a difficult time sticking to your schedules. You also could be more creative when it comes to your daily work, your daily work routine. A lot less rigid on it, a little more casual about it. Neptune softens boundaries and restrictions. But in your house of health and fitness, just be careful of sudden allergic reactions or just strange things like that happening. Usually it's nothing serious. It's just that Neptune's really about, things that are difficult to find out, figure out. They're like hidden, stuff like that. But overall, it's about coming up with a creative, new, unique routine, not putting so much pressure on yourself about it. Maybe even coming up with a new health program, changing your diet, all that stuff. You guys had Venus transiting your 11th house of friends, so that's really good for social activities, hopes and wishes and dreams coming true and all that stuff while Venus has been transiting in Leo. It's going to change signs into Virgo on the 9th. So on the 9th, when Venus moves into Virgo, that is going to be your 12th house of the subconscious, dream world, spiritual matters, letting go, solitude, review, self-undoing. It's the house of hospitals, and it's a house where Venus happens to be a very pleasant planet, brings beauty and stuff. So you can live in your head a lot, romance in your head a lot. Let down any boundaries that you have in terms of love. You can feel more sensitive, more compassionate. The 12th house dissolves boundaries. And so if you've been stubborn about something, you might be open up more now to not being so stubborn. You can contact an ex-partner, reminisce about an ex-partner, reminisce about your life in general, fall in love with a fantasy. This is the house of fantasy, dreams, and subconscious. So typically you want to be secluded, some private place, spending time with someone you love, or exploring spiritual matters. You really don't want to be in the hustle and the bustle of things. But if you are, it's okay. It's not something that's unpleasant. Venus here makes all those matters pleasant. It's good for metaphysical studies, anything that has to do with astrology, all the metaphysical sciences, all of them. Mind over matter, spirituality, meditation, religion, whatever it is, all that's covered. Your dream world can be much more colorful. Your psychic abilities can be enhanced. All that stuff while Venus transits there. But it's typically a time where you want to slow down a little bit. You want to kind of be more comfortable, relaxed, and you enjoy the fantasy world a lot more. Now, this eclipse that's going to be happening in Cancer on the 12th, it's a new moon at 7:47 p.m. in Cancer. It's a partial solar eclipse, not a total, but it's opposing Pluto, and it's connected. It's on the same day. There's a grand trine in Saturn, Uranus, and Venus. So this is really massive, okay? Partial solar eclipses are all about letting go and new beginnings. And the new moons are about the same. It's about letting go of an old way of doing things and opening up new ways of doing things. It's a good time to let go of something that's been bothering you, that you've been hanging on to too long, far past its expiration date. To let go of relationships that are unhealthy, to let go of partnerships that are holding you back, anything like that, job, whatever it is. It's all about heavy review comes up during the eclipse. It's like, I need a change. I realize this now. Whatever it is. And a door closes and new ones open up. So for you guys, it's going to be in your 10th house of career. So some of you might be changing careers. Some of you could get promoted at your career. Some of you can get recognized at work. Now it's going to be opposing Pluto. It's going to be opposing Pluto in your 4th house of home. So there can be some upheaval or transformation within the homes and career. Some of you could get recognition. Some of you could start thinking about moving. Some of you might have some issues with family pop up, or you can just start spending more time with family. It can be negative or positive, all depending upon the current situation that you're in. If there's something that you feel like isn't right or stable, it's likely to break down. If it's something that is going well, there's nothing to break down, then there can be a lot of positive results coming from it. So this new moon can give you new opportunities for new career growth, get you in the limelight, get you recognition, being in your 10th house. And also because on the same day, there's a grand trine between Saturn, Uranus, and Venus. And yeah, this is really good. Saturn's in your 4th house again. As we were saying, Venus is, when it moves into Virgo, it's going to be in your 12th house. So that's behind the scenes activity, spiritual help, guides help, mystical help. Trine Saturn in your 4th house. So something positive can come from behind the scenes to your home or family. You just don't know with these types of things specifically because everybody has different charts again, and they're making different aspects to your planets. But grand trines are lucky, fortunate events and energies where the planets are working really, really well together. And it could be something regarding money, since Uranus is in your 8th house of other people's money. So it could be something fortunate coming to you regards to money with career and what you do for a living. But something's definitely going to change at work. Some of you might be leaving your job, finding a new job, finding a new path. Some of you might get promoted at work. There's just going to be something really big going on there. Okay, something very positive for you guys. And then Jupiter is going direct on the 10th, which is totally awesome. That is in your 2nd house of money. So you guys are all about expanding your resources, and Jupiter retrograde hasn't been giving you the benefits that he normally does when he's moving forward. He's like Santa on his sleigh, just throwing presents out to everybody. And when he's retrograding, he's going back to what he's missed and trying to make you realize that you do have the power to manifest whatever you want. You just got to stay positive, optimistic, believe in yourself, and have the self-confidence, real self-confidence, to go after it, to start manifesting what you want. But Jupiter direct, he's just kind of throws things in your lap. Opportunity expands. You feel more abundant. You want to acquire more things, and therefore you do. Some of you want more money, so you're going to get more money. You're going to be increasing your wealth while Jupiter is in Scorpio in your second house. And now that he's direct, you're going to start seeing more of that. Okay? And there's a lot of really awesome aspects with Venus this month. Now, although Venus will be in your 12th house of hidden matters, seclusion, spiritual matters, all that stuff, there's some wonderful, wonderful aspects with Venus. On the 11th, Venus in Virgo is going to trine Uranus in Taurus, which is totally awesome. Again, because that is your 8th house of other people's money and resources, and Venus is all about money, and Uranus is about sudden money. Plus, you have Jupiter direct in your second house of earned income. It looks like a really good month for you guys financially. On the 14th, Venus in Virgo is going to trine Saturn in Capricorn in your 4th house. So that's a beneficial opportunity for things to happen at home. Just in general, all these trine aspects and sextile aspects are awesome days to do anything you want, to ask for what you want, to do whatever it is that you want to accomplish, to put effort into it. It's just they're very fortunate days, okay? So the 22nd is another one because Venus in Virgo is going to sextile Jupiter in Scorpio. So some of you could get some unexpected money from behind the scenes. You're going to be having guides and spiritual help there as well because Jupiter's in your second and Venus is from behind the scenes in your 12th house. But it's really good for also getting in touch with your desires, your true inner desires, the things that bring you pleasure, all that stuff. You're going to want romance. You're going to want love. You're going to want comfort. You're going to want comfort. And then on the 26th, Mercury retrograde and the technological chaos that comes along with it is very, very possible. Okay, that's on the 26th when Mercury turns retrograde. And it's going to be in the sign of Leo, which is really interesting because it's going to be very interestingly aspected as well. Okay. And this is, for you guys, it's going to be really interesting because it's going to be in your 11th house of friends. But Mercury is going to be making quite a few aspects in its retrograde motion. Okay. And it's going to be, they're fairly positive, and they're actually going to be really related to Mars retrograde and bringing things about there because Mars is in Aquarius retrograde and Mercury is in Leo retrograde. But again, you all have different charts, different planets in different places, so I can't say specifically for you. You do need a personal reading for that. For some of you, some of this might be later. For some of you, this might be a bit earlier. But yeah, Mercury retrograde comes along with a lot of its technological issues at first, usually around in 3 phases. The first phase is when you kind of notice, I feel like, there's computer problems, internet problems, things like that. Be careful about what you type and text out. Make sure that you want to send the message before you do. Those types of things. But really, it's about revisiting, rethinking, people coming back from the past. A lot of the people coming back from the past, revisiting old things, opportunities to change new things, redo a website you've been working on, start a new business idea, revisiting with old friends, especially in the 11th house. Friends from the past can come back. You can get in touch with old buddies or from high school or for elementary, all the way back from college. You can come across, even more recent friends. It's a good time to repair any broken friendships if you want to. If you don't want to, then hey, you don't have to. But it's a good time for that. So yeah, and then the 27th is the total lunar blood moon eclipse that's going to be making some difficult aspects with Uranus and Mars. And that's on the 27th, and that's in Aquarius. So I do see some of you starting new relationships, new love relationships, also starting new creative endeavors. But it is your 5th house of love and romance and creativity, self-expression, and children. So eclipses put endings and beginnings. So some of you that have been struggling with child situations, child support, or where they're going to live or whatnot, this can come to an ending and you can have clarity and finalization and know what's going on with that. Some of you that have been having acting out children or issues with your children, this can clear up as well. An end can come to that. Some of you that have, wanted to start a new creative endeavor or want to get into acting or any type of creativity, self-expression, being a speaker, stuff like that, this eclipse can promote that. It can suddenly make you feel like, you know what, this is the talents I've always had, and I don't know why I'm not doing it. I want to start doing it. Okay, so it's really about being in the limelight, but it's also about love and relationships, like love relationships, more like passionate, love relationships, not so much on the committed side, but it can be. Those relationships typically turn into commitment, but a lot more fun. This is the house of play. So this eclipse that's going to happen here for you guys can open up a lot of new opportunities for fun, for love, for romance, for self-expression, for creative jobs, for creative endeavors, being invited to parties and socializing, having more fun. I mean, it's just really awesome. So on the 28th, that's what's going to happen there, but there could be some sort of stirrup for those of you that are in a love relationship that's not balanced out, not working in your favor. You can decide to put an end to it, or they can do that with you. Because again, eclipses and new moons are all about endings and new beginnings. Typically something ends, and usually it's positive because it's something that we needed to let go of, and we realize this later, and it just kind of helps us do it. Now it also brings in karmic things that people that maybe have been wanting to reach out to you suddenly reach out to you after the eclipses. Okay, ex-lovers, all these things like that too, to try to get second chances or to see if there's anything there, to see if maybe you've learned something new and now you want to approach things differently. Whatever it is, fifth house, love, fun, creativity, and children, something ending, something beginning. Again, if you need something specific, you need to have your own personal chart analyzed in terms of that with your birth time and everything. But otherwise, it's just going to be a big month of transformation, change, seriously, okay? I tell you, come the 12th, and shortly after, you're going to start noticing these positive changes coming into effect, okay? And when Jupiter goes direct on the 10th, that's when you're really going to start feeling like money's going to be coming to you. You're going to have a lot of different money opportunities. You guys are going to be good financially all year. So it does depend on where your other planets are and if Saturn's blocking them or Pluto's blocking them or you're going through any of that. These are general, but overall, it looks for like a great, awesome month for you guys. I'm wishing you the best, the absolute best. If you haven't checked out my playlist, check it out. I have some other Libra stuff there as well. Also, visit my site if you'd like your own personal consultation or reading, because they can be really illuminating. I also do Astro Coaching, which is where I take your chart and I tell you give you a game plan, and we work together on you being able to use the planetary energies for your benefit. You can just check that out at my site as well. Please go to www.illumastrology.com to check out all my services if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. I'm wishing you guys an awesome July 2018, and I will talk to you soon.